Hello everybody, it's Ken Faulkner. Another single knife video from the collection. I've been talking about this recently. In fact, I got three of them. I just did two. I did that Tempest and I did the Devo. Now I'm doing the Vosteed. Now Vosteed's a little different because like, they make their own knives. They may be all in one big building. I don't know, over in China, all the different companies. Certainly, you get a little bit of difference in the quality on something like a Vosteed, for sure. This is one of the more premium Vosteeds. This one ran me about $250. Got this at the show Atlanta last year. I was throwing it up between this and the Psyop, but I've always been a fan of MS. It's RSK. RS knives or whatever, the designer, custom stuff. Obviously, I don't like them enough to remember exactly what the name of his knife brand or whatever is RSK, RS Knife Works or something like that. Anyway, I've been a fan. I've got a couple of them from, I got the mini oh man, what is it called? The mini. You saw my Kaiser video. It's the one that looks like kind of like a shark. Oh man, that's horrible. Horrible. I know some people tell me I could maybe take something, taking some kind of supplement to help me with my memory, but I kind of roll with it. I kind of have fun with it. It doesn't like make me mad. It does frustrate me because like a mini Paragon, I should be able to remember it. And there it is, mini Paragon. And it's always floating around in my head and it'll pop up. And sometimes it'll take hours, sometimes it'll take minutes. And I will get the memory back. It's fun. I laugh at myself. I like to laugh at myself. I've always been that way, which is a good thing, I think. I always taught my kids, learn how to laugh at yourself better than someone else can, and they can't make fun of you, because you're laughing harder than they are at yourself. All right, so let's get on to it. RS Chaos. This one is the one that started out as the Mayhem, but then Cold Steel came out with a Mayhem at the same time, and then there was like a little bit of confusion on the whole thing. But I like this name, the RS Chaos. RSK, RS Chaos. I think it's really good. Has that, just like the mini Paragon, it has like these features, aesthetic features and grinds and stuff like that. This one does have a nice milled pocket clip. It's going to be part of why the cost is a little bit more than some of these other ones in the Vosteed. And, there's some of their premium stuff, and then they have stuff that's more in the budget range. This one does have the top liner lock, though. I really like Vosteed, but I don't have a lot of their knives. And what I really want to do is start buying up some of their top liner lock type knives. I really like that. I think that's brilliant. I mean, obviously, the Smock already had something similar to it. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know why it took so long for people to start doing that thing. Even the frame lock that's button actuated on some brands. It's just a great idea because, the button lock is so fidgety. And this one does give you that same fidgetiness. I know the Smock has this other detent ball that doesn't allow this to happen, but a lot of people like that button for that fidgetiness. Keeping your fingers out of the way when you're closing the knife is really nice. But it's always a spring thing when it's a plunge lock. The spring tension is what develops your quote unquote detent, or whatever it is that keeps it from opening, like this, or which makes it so that you could build up the energy before the flick and makes it flick out better. But the detent ball is is more consistent, I'd say. I mean, not all detent ball knives have good detent, obviously, but it seems to be much easier than that spring tension. Spring tension seems to be difficult because you have to weigh the spring tension of pulling back, like on an axis lock or pushing in on a button, Also with the buttons, obviously there was a lot of issues with the spine whack thing, and you don't really have to do it here. Obviously, axis locks are better on that for sure, but it's still a little awkward to do that pullback. The button push is so much easier. So anyway, I think the top liner lock or button actuated liner lock thing is genius, and I want more of those knives, and I want more companies to make more of those knives. I would just as soon they just get rid of all the plunge locks, even though they've gotten so much better at it, so much better at that, and even the axis locks, even though it's a very strong lock, it's still, you know, the convenience of it, and sometimes they're too light, other times they're too hard, and it seems like it's kind of like the Goldilocks thing, right? Just right with the liners most times. You know, you still have to worry about, you know, how far of a lockup you have, that kind of thing, but you know, that seems to be a little bit easier to dial in, I guess. I don't know. It's just consistently from the knives that I bought, you know, now that I have over 300. I stopped counting ever since I hit 300. I don't really know how many I have. Maybe after Blade show. Certainly going to have to buy another storage bin to put things. But I'm not even talking about the knife again. You know how they got the bad guy monologuing in the like the hero movies? That's what happens to me. I start monologuing. That's what I'm afraid of. If I ever do a live, I'll probably be like that guy that just starts talking and talking, and there's all this stuff in the chat, and everybody's trying to say something, and I'm just going off. I don't know. That could be me. Maybe one day when I get my stickers that I haven't designed yet. Crazy. No way you're gonna have a problem with sharpening on this one. It's got plenty. It's big enough to basically get a finger in, so you can use that as a finger choil. So great choke up, great size overall. Not really much in the way of jimping. They got a couple of jimps at the top of these cuts and a couple over here. You know, so then you can get into that debate of whether you really need a lot of jimping or not jimping. But I like it. I think it's fine. I like the shape. This is more the Warncliffe with that sloping down all the way to the end and basically a flat. I think it's flat. Don't really see a lot of belly, and if it is, it's just so subtle. Dual grind, you know, it's got this little thick thing down here. I've never actually said to myself, oh man, I better use the thicker part of this edge to cut. I want to cut into this, so I should go down here to this because it's such a little small little landing. But it does kind of have a cool look to it, for sure. I believe I don't see really any hollow on that. It's just a flat grind. But it is very aesthetic. I mean, RS Knife Works, his big custom stuff is just so beautiful. I've seen a few of them. Some of it's crazy, but always like it. Just the style. The style is great. So I'm glad that I can get something in a production version so I can afford it. And I don't know what the future brings. Maybe at some point I will buy some customs. I don't know. I would love to, but they are expensive. Nice backspacer on this thing. We're talking about, okay, materials, M390, so we got that premium steel. We got the top liner lock, you know, which is really nice. Warncliffe blade, titanium handle, and backspacer and clip. So all that titaniumness, awesomeness. It is Vosteed. I am almost certain that I'm going to be bringing home a Vosteed from the show, but you never know what's going to happen. I want to get the PSYOP with the micarta. I think that looks cool, and it kind of drops the price a little bit, which is nice. I really like a lot of these companies. Like I'm going to be looking at Chavez Blue Line, Tenable Knives, all those kind of things. Just checking them out and see what they got at the lower price. I think it's great to have because I don't always feel rich. I know a lot of you guys struggle to get knives in even the high end of the budget range. So it's nice to have some of these companies that have great quality. Even Riot's putting out some $150 range knives. Good quality that they keep in there when they reduce the materials to lower cost. And I'm excited about it. I think it's great. Um, did we check the blade length? We didn't get out the ruler yet. Let's do that real quick. So this is a nice big one. So it's 5 inches of handle. Inner grip, I guess I'll go here. About 3 1/4, but then you got this area here. So if you are choked back, you're probably going to have your pinky here, but it's not so bad. It almost gives you a little bit of extra hold on the knife as you're going into a stabbing motion. But you can also go here, and then you got tons down here. So there's no worry about that with this particular knife. The clip works well. Never had any complaints with it. I don't really feel it hot spot wise. The blade, so the overall length of the blade is about 3 3/8 when you go from here to the tip. I mean, it's always debatable how you do it. And then because we have that big choil, we end up with 3 inches of blade. And I'm okay with that. That's kind of, when it starts getting less than 3 inches, it has to have more to it to really get me happy. But once it's got the 3 inch and a good, grip, then, it definitely is calling me for sure. Nice design, nice button, very comfortable. It does stand proud, but I've never had any problem with it, opening or closing when I don't want it to. I don't have a problem with it. I'm using it, and all of a sudden, this thing gets deployed. It takes a bit to get it to deploy, or to close. You have to go pretty far, but it's not hard to do either. It's really just pushing against that liner. The spring, instead of it being a little coil spring, is the spring of the liner. The liner has it because it's bent in. It has its own spring mechanism just from the bent. You're bending back the metal. Well, obviously, I've been doing a few videos in a row here because my voice is starting to go. Let me get a drink of water and we'll wrap this guy up. I don't think we did blade thicknesses yet, handle thicknesses and whatnot, so we'll do that real quick as I can. It looks pretty thick right here. Let's check it out. 0.15, so it's a little thicker than some of those other knives. That basic 1/8 inch. It's a little bit thicker. It's got a swedge up here, so that's why it gets real thick here. But that's good because it gives reinforcement down at the tip. Where that secondary bevel kind of brings it down to that sharp point, but there's nice reinforcement in that area. I like that. The handle itself is a little, it's about 5.5. So we're getting a thicker, bigger knife in general. About 0.7 at the clip. We want to see how tall it is. When it's closed, we're talking about it's 1.4. Getting up to 1.5 ish. When it's open, this is probably going to be that 1 point. If I can get it right, 1.35, and the blade's going to be right at 1.21. So yeah, just an overall a little bit bigger knife. So you get a little bit more material to make it. More machining, obviously. There's a lot of little details. But they take the time, and you have to pay the money, but I think it's worth it on this one. Got that little RSK here, and Vosteed here. Not a lot of branding. Nothing special on the pivot, but definitely D-shaped or some kind of captured pivot. Nice little pivot collar. It's a great knife. I really like it. I like the look of it. I like the fantasy aspect of it that comes from RS Knife Works. And yeah, so thanks guys. Kept it under 15 this time. Very good, Ken. Keep working on being less down the rabbit hole. All right, keep watching. And we're getting close to the Blade show, so it's awesome. I'm really excited, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.